Janlori Goldman, who wishes she had 5 children. Or Gerard Manley Hopkins is your favorite poet. 3, she can live out of a suitcase, mainly filled with books, almost anywhere in the world. Or 4, she has another option. William Blake is an ancestor, and she inherited his etching entitled, I Want, of a person reaching up a ladder to the moon. Welcome to Jen.
Thank you.
It's amazing to be in this space, and then to hear that, this may be one of the last hot moments in this space. After that, it's going to be all cool and clean, and solar powered and whatever. Anyway, thank you to all the Storyscape folks for putting this together and for having my poems. So, my daughter went to college this year, so occasionally that theme seeps in. So I thought I would just start with that first poem. I had a bit of a harmonic convergence when she went to college. I got laid off my job. My daughter went to school, and my girlfriend had a sabbatical. So I was like, I'm in that suitcase. Let's get out of here. Oh, separation. When my daughter left for college, I ran away from home to a place of no schedules, no school day, no cool palm to lay on her forehead, checked for fever. But most of all, no walking by the still room, worn socks under the bed. I fled to the Pacific to sit on a bay, see sunrise and set. Fishing boats with a few guys putter the coastline. At 4 a.m., 3 lights cluster on the sea. 4 a.m. used to be my safe hour of no crying, no lost shoe, of pages turned and lights out. Just me, waking in dark, hair thick with yeast, a thin grip on the day. Lots of good material on the subway here in New York. Here's one called One Good Turn. In the subway, a girl screams. A man surges at her, prick out. This is beyond a man's need to do what boys do behind locked doors, into sheets they know their mothers will touch. At the grocery, my girl buys potatoes. We make latkes, like the menorah, tell the story of a miracle. I remember our own miracle, of the one who disappeared from the sonogram, a miscarriage in the canal. I say, no DNC, my baby will find a way out. Days later, the doctor looks again. There she is, clinging to her sack. Who will see her on the platform if a man needs her to watch? Who will see her? So this time of year, I think of my cousin Charlotte, who died in 2003. She was 89 years old. And she used to always say, at Thanksgiving, my job was to make the relish, and she would always say, John, cranberries are the hardest of fruit. They require a great deal of sugar. She, by the way, worked on the Lower East Side. She went to medical school and did her residency in New York back in the 20s and 30s. Worked on the Lower East Side, and she had this huge coat. She described this to me. I didn't know her, obviously. She had a huge coat and a little black bag, and she would walk up and down the Bowery, and these guys would be lying on the sidewalk, and they would start cursing at her. And then one of them would kind of look up and realize that she was a woman, and they would say, hey, the doctor's a lady. So I kind of feel reading this poem about her here. It's all good. Anyway, I think of her in April. She died April 17th. Cranberries are the hardest of fruit. 10 eyes on the ends of your toes. Watch me lift your feet into a pink plastic tub. Now hundreds of sudsy eyes blink as I scoop warm water around your ankles, up your calves. Like the first time I bathed my daughter. Her slippery skin cringed in the air as I bent over the kitchen sink, sunk her downy shoulders in faux amnio, wondered how many newborns slip to linoleum, how many mothers swab the floor of evidence. Your feet, heavier than a whole baby and with nowhere to fall, shed scales laid in during that immobile spring. A blue washcloth coaxes off another layer. Stainless steel clippers and scissors of every kind fill a jar in the cabinet. A precise array to slip under sutures, slice skin, snip surgical thread, clip toenails, carve out a tumor. My hands anchor your ankles in a slop of dinosaur nails. You instruct me, the surgeon guiding her rookie nurse. So last month, I went with my family to Palestine for my first trip over there. And Hila has been kind enough to invite me to read with some Jewish poets at the Massachusetts Poetry Festival. And little did she know I would have this new material from that trip. I do travel a lot, and I tend to learn a country through the food. It's partly because I'm crazy about food and I love to eat. But it's also this way you say to someone, what do you love? What's your favorite food? What do you grow here? That allows me kind of a way in with people. So this is in Palestine. Today, on the road to Nablus, I think of the poet. His wrecked heart blooming on these rocky hills. His horse's shadow alone in the field. An anemone unfurls, low and waving. A warning or welcome, it's too early to say. Closer in, spreads of resolute reds open in the rough encouragement of March. In the center, marble plaques hold the dead, a family bombed in their home. Next, a candy store, cement mixers filled with almonds and sweet liquids. The woman who shows us says, you must taste this after that. Up the mountain, buds huddle in dirt as gusts of pigeons blow against a rock face, cling to stone. There's the village, long in the valley. I want those green almonds pyramided on carts. We'll rinse them, dip in coarse salt, bite into the unripe things. And this is my last poem, a little out of season, Winter Solstice. A slow sheathing of moon in shadow, as if sky were a gill through which all things flow in, filter out. Oh, odd light, bring me the old season, that familiar winter, a home with no right angles, a space of curling in, not too bright or sharp. And bring me the time before that, with the garden dark with broken down coffee grounds, rows of flowering mustard greens, snap peas, garlic, the smell of ripped roots fresh from the pull. And then to my round house a friend will come, or maybe the friend's mother. I'll say, stay for dinner. She'll say, let me sew that button. Thank you.